Hello ladies and gentlemen, OrdinaryBiscuit here, and today, don't worry, we haven't travelled back in time. We're discussing a video I created over 4 years ago called 10 Tips for YouTube Content Creators. And by discuss, I mean we're doing an updated version of that video. Now, I'm a seasoned YouTuber, well more seasoned than I was all the way back in 2016, so I know a thing or two more than I did when I made that video. This video is not going to be the same however, so feel free to watch that young me's perspective since much of it is still relevant, because today we're doing 10 more tips for YouTube content creators. So, starting off at number 1, we have make your videos clickable. So this point means two things really. Firstly, make your titles interesting, engaging and informative. A few of my last videos I made my titles in capital letters. Those who are uninformed would call it clickbait, but by definition clickbait is only that if the content of the title or thumbnail is inaccurate to what the video contains, which obviously I don't suggest. I chose to use capital letters because it works in drawing attention. There's a reason you don't see front page newspaper titles in lowercase. It's a writing method that is known to catch the eye, and so you should use it. Last video my title was "This class will easily get you 100 kills, Modern Warfare." While yes, I did partially do it this way as a joke, the information was in fact accurate in that a skilled player could have easily gotten 100 kills with that class. It's an interesting title because it tells the audience what the video is about without telling the whole story. Secondly, to the making your videos clickable, thumbnails are very important, and I see so many people overlook them, it's depressing. Look at the same video, I decided to include an alternative title giving a little more information and even show the weapon in use. The thumbnail is bright, stands out, but isn't so cluttered with stuff that you don't know what to look at. Simple bit of advice: if you're not talented when it comes to thumbnails like myself, and just keep things really clear and simple and you can't go wrong and you'll improve over time. Anyway, let's move on to number 2. Always strive to improve. Congratulations, by watching this video you've already taken your first steps in trying to improve. No matter at what point you are in your YouTube career, you should always be looking for areas of improvement. Standards for online content change with the times, and so should yours. For example, over 4 years ago in the original 10 tips for YouTube content creators, if you listen to the way I sound, there's some significant background noise and I and ah a lot. You may also notice a difference in my audio quality and in the way of which I speak. Back then I was using a Blue Snowball and I did no post editing to my own audio. Also, part of the reason I was doing YouTube back then, as I mentioned in that video, was to improve my speaking, and so compared to then I have improved these weaknesses of mine. Considering how well that video did back in 2016 and the praise the video got from viewers, I'd say standards have changed, considering I wouldn't release an unedited voiceover like that one today. People who have watched me for a long time may not have noticed the difference, but if you directly compare my old videos to the new, you can see how far my content has come. Though that's not the whole story here. I can still improve, and there's some things in which I have yet to improve. That video, like this one, is visually the same quality as this one near enough, considering I still record and release my videos in the same resolution and FPS 1080p 60 FPS. As things improve, perhaps 4K will become the norm, though for now 4K is a little much for my workflow. I could also improve my videos look visually with my editing, because while my current style I'd say is clean, it's not perfect, and so I, like you, should look every day on how to improve not only my channel but myself. At number 3 we have audio. From my experience, people are more offended through their ears than they are with their eyes. By that I mean someone who sounds like they're using a toaster is more likely to have me click away than a video that has a lower resolution or frame rate issues. If the idea of editing your audio sounds overwhelming, don't worry, because it's a lot easier than you'd think. I always thought audio editing would be a complex process of using filters, etc., but in reality, in the case of making a YouTube video, rather than mastering a track for something like cinema, it's as simple as, well, this. I was going to make a video about the basics of audio editing, but I decided instead just to put what I do here. Good practice is when you start recording, be silent for a short time, maybe 20 seconds, and like in this clip, you highlight the point where you are silent. This is Audacity, by the way. Go to noise reduction to get your noise profile, then you Control A and Control R, and if your background noise or mic buzzing is persistent, you just repeat the process. There are other things you can do to your own audio, but I wanted to keep this one brief, so I shared the only audio editing that I really do on these videos, apart from cutting out when I mess up. Next up, number 4, don't stick to one platform. Basically, this point is to have a presence in other places that might lead potential viewers to your YouTube channel. Things like having a Twitter or an Instagram or even streaming on Twitch can have a massive impact on your potential audience. Many people who use Twitter or browse Instagram and Twitch also watch YouTube, so having a presence there is a no-brainer. So hey, if you want to follow me on Twitch and Twitter, links below, or just search my name. Moving on from my ruthless self-promotion, number 5, play to your strengths. Identify your weaknesses. So by this I mean you should do or create things that play to your strengths. If you're funny, make comedic videos. If you're intelligent or know a great deal about certain topics, you can talk about those. Perhaps people just like to listen to your voice. That's a strength I've identified for myself, and it's always kind of been the case that my voice is something people like to listen to. In terms of weaknesses, I'm not the embodiment of confidence. Sometimes I'll struggle in front of a crowd, and I'm inconsistent with uploading to my channels. They are weaknesses I've identified and been working on. Similarly, I'm not all that artistic, and I'm colourblind. I don't always know what will look good, because something I think looks good might look weird to someone else. So to make up for those weaknesses of mine, I always get a second opinion in for thumbnails, etc. VK, check him out below by the way, helped me the other day with this thumbnail where there was no background and it was just black, and honestly it didn't look great. Thanks VK. In terms of playing to my strengths, I started and am restarting a creepypasta reading channel so that people can listen to my voice. For this point though, that's it. I can't tell you what all your strengths and weaknesses are. Only you can know for sure. At number 6 we have consistency. Personally, this is one of my weaknesses and probably one of the biggest reasons I'm still at the point that I am with my YouTube channel, because I've been really inconsistent. Anyways, the point of being consistent is so that people know when to expect a video from you. Decide on what days and how often you're going to upload and stick to it, and returning subscribers will know when to expect your next video. Early on, I don't recommend any more than 2 videos a week, and that's because when you're starting out, if you have hundreds of videos already, it'll have a negative impact on how your channel is seen, especially if many of those videos get very little in terms of viewership. Personally, if I was starting fresh, I'd upload once a week, probably on a Wednesday, and I'd say that when I reached 100 subs and got to 20 to 30 viewers per video, and that's when I'd go up to 2 or 3. Though that's just my opinion, and different channels might need different strategies, but for a gaming channel, that's what I would recommend. I know from experience that being inconsistent is how you lose subscribers, and even can cause issues for those who have subscribed not getting a notification because you haven't uploaded in so long. So figure out what works for you and stick to it, and if you want to change it, mention it more than once. Next up at number 7 is Discord. Honestly, I don't know many YouTubers nowadays who don't have a Discord for their community. Having a place for your community to discuss and share opinions can really help in building a healthy relationship with your audience. You, like me, will likely make friends with some of your audience members, such as how I befriended Unseen. Hello Unseen, lol. And now Unseen is a moderator in my Twitch chat. Also, if you're wondering how to lay out a Discord server, feel free to pop into mine for a chat. I'm always up for a natter if I'm not at work or asleep. I'll also show it briefly how it looks on screen now. But in all seriousness, having a Discord can really help you make those connections and is quite useful at keeping everyone up to date on what's going on. If you upload a video or are about to stream, etc., instead of relying on rather unreliable reliable notification systems in place on YouTube. Your server will likely be quiet for a good while. That depends on your audience, so making an effort to be active in your Discord will help you out. Admittedly, I often have quiet spots in my Discord, but I'm working on it. At number 8, know the types of content and when to use them. So I made a video a short while back called The Types of Content for YouTube Growth. It's linked above it in the cards. If you haven't watched it, it's definitely worth a watch. Anyway, to simplify things, we have 2 main types and 2 subtypes. We have discoverability with the subtypes of short-term and long-term content. Basically, short-term is something that will get you a load of views because it's relevant but won't get much after a certain point. And long-term is something like a tutorial that will gradually bring in views for a long time. Then our second type, which is focus, with the subtypes creator focus and audience focused content. Simply put, they are who you create the video for. If it's creator focus, it's something you like to create and is for you, the creator. And audience focused is a video made directed at an audience or in response to audience request. Anyway, if you need a better description of these, as I said, find the video in the top right. Usually when making a video you use one of each of the main types of content, but knowing to mix these up and when to mix these types up is what will have the biggest positive impacts on your channel growth. I make a lot of long-term content, but I will occasionally make a short-term video about a specific topic if it applies to my audience, such as when I discussed the release of AMD's competitor to Shadowplay. That video is now completely irrelevant, but I knew it was a topic gaming YouTubers would be interested in, and that's who my target audience was at the time. And from doing that, I grew and a few of my other videos benefited. There is no right or wrong way to do these things, but keep these things in mind when coming up with a video idea. These types of content also don't apply to every video, and there are likely other types of content I'm not familiar with, but the point still stands. Knowing to do what and when will be a surefire way to succeed. In at number 9, it's nearly over. We've talked a lot more than I thought we would in this video, but we have tag you're it. This point is basically improving your overall SEO by using tags. Having tags match your title and parts of your description also appear to help a great deal on the visibility of your video. In terms of order of importance, I'd say it's title, then tags, and then your description. Though for best results, having matches in all 3 helps a lot. You can also add tags to your actual channel. If you go to YouTube Studio, click Settings, and then click Channel, having some of these match in all your videos will help with your videos being what appears in the recommended for your videos. Basically, the more places the tags match, the better. There are many tools available, such as TubeBuddy and vidIQ, that can help a great deal with your tags, as well as other things for optimizing your SEO. Honestly, I'd say vidIQ is the better of the two, but they are functionally the same. Finally, for this point, we have hashtags. While these are relatively new for YouTube, a lot of people have been using them to great effect. How these work is basically the same as other platforms, such as Twitter. So a certain hashtag, if you click it, will give you every video post that has included that hashtag. It's a decent path for discoverability and showing up in recommended videos for certain topics. To add them, simply type a hashtag into your title or description, and you can use up to 3 as of the making of this video. With that out of the way, finally we have number 10, make an effort. This final point is rather broad and can be interpreted in many ways, but the reality is if your heart isn't in it, people can usually tell. Avoiding sounding monotone and boring, make an effort to make your channel and videos look and sound good. It's a combination of everything, to be honest. If something looks good, it's usually because someone has put a lot of thought into it. Slapping 20 PNG images onto your thumbnail doesn't look good if no thought has been put into it. Think carefully about titling and don't just have episode 251 of my Minecraft playthrough as your title, because the reality is on the internet and in life that people aren't interested and don't care until they have a reason to do so. Simply having a bunch of videos on the platform does not equate to making an effort. So basically give people a reason with your channel and videos. Be interesting and entertaining. Be mindful of your audience, of what they might like and dislike. Look at yourself through their eyes to decide what you might want to do next. Anyway, that's all for this video. I hope these points have provided you guys with some insight and perspective. Let me know down in the comments if you learned something, have any questions for me, or additional points to share with everyone else. I'm glad to be returning to this commentary style. Topic suggestions are always welcome. Either way, good luck with your channels. I look forward to seeing them. Leave a description of what your channel is about in the comments and I'll check you out. Thanks for watching, and until the next time, farewell.